It's the clash of the Titans. The Sharks take on the Royals. The Sharks are on a high after crushing the Royals on qualifier number 1. Luke Benkenstein exploited with a bat.
It's hit big. This time he clears everything.
And Mohammed Ismail bowled his side to victory. Mid on and gone.
Please be ready. In the final, we're going to come twice as hard. Jitni hum efforts kar sakte hain, wo karenge. Everyone will be pumped. Everyone will be charged up. It's a big event.
The Royals will look to bounce back with Basit Ali having retained his powers, assisted by Tayyab Araf.
What a way to finish.
तैयार हो भावलपुर रॉयल्स को चैंपियन बनता हुआ देखने के लिए. See you on the ground with the trophy.
Will the Sharks swim to victory, or will the Royals reign supreme?
Welcome back to Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore, for the all-important final between the Gwadar Sharks and the Bahawalpur Royals. Well, the Pakistan Junior League comes to an end, comes to a close tonight, and the final is being played between the Gwadar Sharks and the Bahawalpur Royals, two very strong teams who have shown us some brilliant talent over the last few weeks, and we are finally at a point where we will have the first champions of the Pakistan Junior League shortly. I've got Sana Mir and Dominic Cork here with me to sort of recap, you know, in general the tournament we've had, but for now let's focus on that big game that awaits us tonight. Sana, the Sharks look as invincible as ever. What do you make of the clash that is awaiting all of us tonight?
I think these are definitely the two best teams of the tournament. We are up for a really good match. Both these teams have got like dominant performances against each other. When we see their journey till here, both these teams look like that they have really dominated, and whenever they've played against each other, it has been a dominating performance.
How spectacular have the Royals been so far, Dom?
They've been really good. And I think you're spot on, Sana. The two best teams going head-to-head. Forget what's gone on. Forget what's gone on to the road here. I know we're going to look at the road in a minute, but it's all about now who will turn up tonight and actually perform well. When we look at the Sharks and look how they actually got here, I think you could see that they've only lost one game, and that one game was to the Royals. They have been the most consistent side throughout. They've had a few little changes, but for the last 3 or 4 games, they've been unchanged, and hence why they've been so dominant in this form. I tipped them, and Sana tipped them quite a while ago. The Royals will have to play better than they have done already, even though they've beaten them, to win tonight. They are, to me, the form team.
And Sana, the Royals, they have had some formidable performances, especially at the top of the batting order, but they have also been very impressive throughout PJL.
Yeah, they have lost 3 matches. If you see the points, their journey so far, they have lost to Gwadar once, which was the pressure game, and then they lost to Rawalpindi Raiders and Mardan Warriors. One of their matches was shortened too. So overall, I think yes, I agree with Dominic that the Sharks have been more dominating, but when these two teams have played each other, the toss has played a very important role.
Of course.
And both these teams have won against each other with 8 wickets in hand. So that has been quite an interesting thing.
Dom, you said that the Sharks have lost just once to Bahawalpur, but they've also recently just defeated them in a very important match. So that match will definitely have a role to play.
Qualifier 1 took the Sharks straight the way through to the final. The Royals had to do it a little bit more difficult, but they did stand a chance of getting it because they came second. So literally it's all about now the pitch, the toss, and which team turns up.
And look at the crowd we have in tonight. You know, they've come here to support these young boys. Sada, how much of a motivation will this bring to the young boys?
Absolutely. I think one motivation is that they are selected at this level. They have been brilliant mentors, and then they are on camera. Everyone's watching them. So great motivation for all of them.
Well, let's get on with the action. Mike Hazeman is ready with the pitch report for us.
The first thing I need to point out is conditions are just ideal for this final. It's around about 27 degrees at the moment, and that is going to be perfect for these guys. They're warming up around me as well, as you can see, but it's just going to be perfect for a game of cricket and such a high octane game of cricket. The other thing I wanted to point out is this outfield. Now it's 66 metres all the way around, so it's a good sized ground, so that's absolutely fine, and it's going to be good for the batsmen and also the bowlers, so I quite like that sizing. Something else I do want to point out is there's just a little bit of a breeze around the place, and that means, with the flags that are fluttering at the moment, that means that we probably won't get much dew. Now, the flags are not fluttering all that much, so we might get a little bit later, but I think these guys are experienced now that they'll be okay if there is any dew around the place. Right. Now, this outfield, even though it's nice and green, it gets sprinkled all the time, but they can't give it a good soaking because of the games. It was last given a good soaking a week ago. Listen to this. That's how hard it is, right? So I think this is going to be good for the batsmen. They're going to enjoy this. The track, I think, is going to be good. We're going to hear more from Tino shortly. But I think it's going to be really good, this one. And also they cut it at only a centimetre. So the ball is going to travel quite nicely on this surface. The other thing they've done today, they spent 2 hours spraying around the outfield to make sure that if there is dew, it just runs off the blades of the grass and goes straight into the soil with that wax coating. So we're looking good here. Tino, how's the track looking?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Hazy, for your expert thoughts and comprehensive report about the outfield. I'm out in the middle, and this is pitch number 1. It's been used the least so far in the competition, saving the conditions and the best ones for the final, of course. And I'm down at the FC College end. I'm just on about a good length to the seamers here. And probably, if I look at the surface compared to the ones we've had, the least amount of grass on it. A slight sheen on the top of the surface tells me that underneath, the surface is hard. It's been well rolled, had an opportunity to rejuvenate from the 3 matches that have been played here. In terms of spin, I don't know if we're going to get too much of that. I don't think there's much for the ball to be holding on to and gripping and turning. I think conditions here are going to be very, very good for the batting. Now, these two teams have played against each other twice in the competition, and interestingly, they have beaten each other by 8 wickets. So, in my opinion, good batting conditions once again. Boundaries that have been scored in the first 6 overs, the majority have been in front of square on the offside. I don't think that's going to change today. It looks like the ball will be coming very nicely onto the bat. Today, it's important to ensure that whatever it is that you are doing, you do it well. My opinion, if I was a mentor, if I was a captain, I want to put runs on the board. I want the team that's batting second to have some scoreboard pressure. Let's enjoy a fantastic final.
Well, thank you, Mike and Tino, for that very comprehensive report. Now, let's go to Sikandar Bakht, who's ready with the toss.
It's the final of the Pakistan Junior League, and we've got our teams ready, all set to get out there and lift that trophy tonight. I've got Shahid, the captain of the Bahawalpur Royals. I've got the captain of Gwadar Sharks, Shamil Hussain, and of course our match referee, Ali Naqvi. It's time for the toss, and Shamil has the coin.
Tails.
Tails is the call. And it's heads. Well, what are you going to do?
We're going to bowl first.
Ball first. So let's get to our question, which we usually ask. This decision is based on what? On looking at the pitch? Are you looking at the stats throughout the tournament, how the square is played?
I think statistically we've seen that run chases have been pretty easy. Also, if you look at the wicket, it's pretty flat. There's no grass on it. So it's really, I think run chase is going to be much easier. Obviously, we have Sir Viv Richards, a lot of experiences backing that up. So yeah, that's what we're going to go for.
Do you guys also keep the dew factor in mind? Is it a huge aspect to consider in a game where you're trying to chase?
Yeah, it is, because in fielding and in bowling, it disturbs the bowlers. You can't really grip the ball, and in catching and fielding, well, it disturbs the bowler. But obviously when you're forced to field in the dew, you don't really think about it. But it's nice to have just a little bit of advantage over the other team.
We haven't had any dew in the past 2 days, but let's see how it goes. What are the changes?
No changes.
No changes.
No
Same
changes.
team.
Yes.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Obed, team has been playing some good cricket throughout. That is why you're here in the final. And of course, you asked to bat first. So I'll put the same question to you. What's on your mind as a captain? You're looking at the pitch, or you're looking at some decisions you've already taken, that how do we go about it?
Yeah, it looks a very decent wicket to bat on. I don't mind if we bowl first and bat first. We also opted to want to bowl first, but it doesn't matter winning or losing parts of the game.
So then the million-dollar question. Now you're batting first. What is the score that you will start off in mind?
Yes, as I said, it looks a very decent wicket. We would like to have 61, 70 on the board. It will be a good total.
All right. What are the changes?
We have same playing line.
Same team?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Good luck. So here we are. The final, Gwadar Sharks won the toss and they're fielding first.
Thanks, Sikandar. Looks like the Royals are going to be batting first, and a good chance for them to put some runs on the board.
Absolutely, I think we have to look at Basit Ali. Keep an eye on that player. He is a big match player. Hopefully, he will deliver. He missed out against the Sharks, so he will come out pumping. And all the bases have been complete with this team, with the left-arm spinners, the off spinners, and the fast bowlers.
Look at the Sharks. Look, I think they're the most balanced side. A look at the top of them, Luke Benkenstein, who's in runs. They've got one of the best bowling attacks. I cannot wait for this final.
Well, neither can I. The crowd is all set, and we're ready to go to the teams now. It's time now for the anthem, so let's take you to the action now.